How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. It is now getting warmer. It finally stopped snowing. So, yeah, everything's good. How are you, Jenny?
Fantastic. Everything is so fine and dandy. We recently did something really cool, and what was that, Jay? What did we do that was really cool? It was something
What
about
did we
like,
do? Was it the festival?
oh no, it was something about feet. Your feet?
Oh, feet pics. Yeah.
No, 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 no,
Everyone
no.
wants more
Sorry,
feet pics. We're doing
sorry.
feet pics.
Comic Con, Emerald City Comic Con, and
Yeah.
it was pretty cool. Like it was actually really cool. I was surprised to see how much actual support for the LGBTQIA plus community is out there in Comic Con, and just like how much of the community is in like cosplaying, just enjoying themselves. And there's a lot of other nerdy people there too that are probably part of the community.
What would you say that was your, I don't know, for cosplay? What was your favorite thing, like favorite character seeing?
Oh man,
Yeah, putting you on the spot.
cosplay. Dang. I mean, that Chewbacca that we saw was really good. It
Mm.
was like spot on. Like we have, and I'll throw up a picture like for everyone to see. But we get Nikki and I specifically got pictures with Chewbacca, and her face is hilarious in the picture because she's like totally fangirling. Like you would figure Chris Evans was under the costume the way she was fangirling. It was so funny. I'll put up the picture for them to see. But for me, man, like even like I saw some Borderlands people, like people that were doing Borderlands cosplay, and that was really good, to be honest. And I saw this whenever the cosplayers, anyone can sign up and they display their cosplay for like on main stage for the audience. Someone did Dumb and Dumber from whenever they dress up in the orange and blue tuxedos, and it
Mm.
was perfect. And I really liked that one just because it hit like home for me because like I've watched that movie countless times when I was younger. Yeah. Well, but what about you? What was yours? What was your favorite? I mean, I kind of you know talked a little bit, went on a tangent.
I went to the cosplay competition,
Yeah.
so I got to see like the final round and all of that, which all of that was very amazing.
My bad for interrupting. I did not get to see that, so I did not see like the really really professional ones unless I saw them passing by. Oh my god. Okay, one Queen Amidala, the Queen Amidala one, I did see her in person, and I will say that was one of my favorites. She was amazing. She looked exactly like Queen Amidala from the movies.
I forgot who won the competition, like who came in first, but I'm pretty sure she was at least like in the final, like final three or something. She was definitely up there. I think she won, but I'm not sure. I don't want to like false,
Hold on,
falsely like say that she
can
won.
we look it up? I'm gonna look it up on the phone right now.
Oh yeah, she won first place. Queen Amidala.
Okay, cool. All right, so confirmed she won first place. And if I can find it, I'll put a little, little video of her accepting the prize or being announced as the winner. So what was your favorite cosplay? Was it Queen Amidala, or I kind of interrupted you there?
I don't know if she was my favorite. It was definitely really impressive. It was definitely really good. I liked it. But, I'm a sucker when it comes to latex, right?
Yeah.
So there was actually a person that was like not in the cosplay competition. She was just like walking around as cosplay,
Mm.
person. And she had a full body, like old school, but it was purple, like a light purple latex Catwoman. And she had like a molded like Catwoman
Oh,
mask and everything. And it was just like really, really good and really well done.
I
And I
saw
was
her.
like, I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Of
Which,
course, because latex,
yeah.
custom latex costume
And I
cosplay.
think like the whole like Comic-Con convention was really kind of like Catwoman themed for me, just because I really got like a lot of comic books autographed by the writer of Catwoman.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
I
you
bought like
mentioned that you were
Catwoman
trying to do that.
prints. I got like her to autograph like my graphic novels. I had her autograph like a lot of comic books. So it was kind of like a Catwoman theme Comic
Wow.
Con. And then to see one walk by, I was like, oh my gosh.
Completed it all, you know.
Yeah.
Like last year, I know I didn't spend that much time doing as much activities. Like last year, it was just one day. But this year, I spent all 4 days. And I definitely say to anyone that is in the area or comes out here often for events or conventions, this is one that's worth it. Just because there's activities for everyone to do. There's activities during the day for the whole family to do. Kids, adults, just everyone. It has everything. It's not just like, oh, we play World of Warcraft, so this is the convention we go to. No, it's like anime people, Pokemon card collectors, Yu-Gi-Oh card collectors, there's a freaking like Destiny Fire Team meetup thing that happens in one of the rooms. They have like a place dedicated to like just Star Wars cosplay and building cosplay.
I know the groups that you're talking about because there's
Yeah.
like the 501st
Yes.
Infantry,
Yes,
and
yes.
then there's the Mandalorian Mercs, which I'm actually a member of the Mandalorian Mercs. I do not have a set of armor yet. They'll have armor parties where you go up and you meet with people that have made armor. They walk you through how to make your armor. It's really cool because you get to customize your own armor to somewhat of a degree. Like you do have to like fit their standard. That group, I don't know if they're worldwide, but they are all over the country. Like I joined them in Florida. And they are a nonprofit, and you'll see them do a lot of charity work for like children that have cancer and things like that. So it's actually a really great group to be a part of.
One of the stormtroopers, I think he was like a scout stormtrooper, he was collecting funds for children's charities outside of the thing. And actually, I decided to donate some because, how can you say no to a stormtrooper? You can't,
I
because
mean,
Darth Vader will come over and cut your head off.
Don't make me destroy you.
yeah, but it's a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to do anything.
Oh my God, yeah. Comic-Con was so good. It was just I can't wait for next year.
Like a lot of people go to Disney World once a year, right?
Yeah.
Like I go to Comic Con, and I had actually told Jenny, I'm like, okay, you guys are coming to Comic Con. That is great, but I have like an itinerary and I have like a list of things I'm going to do. And like, I'm sorry if it doesn't work out. Like we can't hang out that often. But like...
Let's be honest. Okay, let's be honest for the audience. Jay and I barely hung out for this Comic Con. Last year, we hung out the whole day, the one day I came out there, just because he wasn't as busy with like getting autographs from like specific comic book artists, wasn't seeing as much famous celebrities. I don't know if you took as many pictures last year with celebrities. I noticed this year you were like, dude, I gotta get these autographs on Comic Book Alley this day. You had like a list, and we got to see you one time, and we hung out for a little bit, and then boom, gone, disappeared. And we had our own like itinerary of things. We got a photo with Frodo though. We wanted to go visit Artist Alley and really take a really in-depth look. And when we did, I met the voice actor for Gur. I really love that. I got to get an autograph from him and I guess the creator of Invader Zim, which he was absolutely amazing. He was really cool. The one thing that I was disappointed about is I wanted to get SpongeBob's autograph, but they didn't have good prints at the time. And I was just like, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, that's something I also kind of noticed. I got a movie poster of Lord of the Rings, and I had Sam, Frodo, and Gimli all autograph it. I went to Comic-Con, and I was like, okay, like surely they're going to have a print, like the classic Lord of the Rings, like everyone knows what it is. I kind of went up there early and looked at like the prints they had, and I'm like, they are shit. I literally went down like the next floor and was just like running around, and I was like, there was a person selling movie posters, and I was like, do you have Lord of the Rings? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, okay, how much?
Score.
$5? Sweet. Yeah, I'm buying it. So
wow. So anything else you wanted to point out of Comic-Con, or?
Like I said, I got like the movie poster autographed by all three of them. I did a photo op with all three of them. I did a photo op with Chris Evans, and I also had him autograph the Avengers Endgame movie poster.
Oh, nice.
I had the creator of Invader Zim and also the voice of Gur autograph a really cool Funko Pop that I had where it's Gur and Invader Zim riding the pig.
Oh my god,
So,
yeah, I remember that scene. That's so funny.
and I will say, so like when I did that, Gurr was all by himself and he looked so sad and depressed. He was just sitting there by himself. And I'm
Yeah.
like, uh, can you autograph us? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, what the hell? Because like Invader Zim to me, like Gurr really made it. Like I
Yeah.
plan on getting like a Gurr tattoo. Like I love Gurr.
Gurr is like one of
Um,
my favorite characters in Invader Zim.
yeah, that's like I feel like that's like everyone or the majority of everyone. But then the creator of Invader Zim, it was like a 30-minute line to get his autograph.
Yeah, I know. I was
And
like, what in the world is going on here?
I got this like really, really cool Funko Pop and also had it signed by the animator and director of He-Man. And it's like He-Man and Battle Cat.
Oh,
I don't know
that's
if you
cool
can
as
see
shit.
that. This is my Wednesday Addams Funko Pop that she signed. Really cool.
Christina Ricci. I actually checked out the professional like lightsabers that they use in lightsaber duels, and the company that makes them for the duels and stuff. They go over like the materials that's made out of, why it's so expensive, why it's basically indestructible. I got a lightsaber.
You got my lightsaber. It's purple.
There's some good stuff that we got from Comic-Con. There's some good
Definitely cool stuff. But I will say, the dark side.
Dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
stuff. The dark
The
side.
negative things. The things
Oh.
that like made me question like, am I really gonna go all out next year or do I just want to go and have fun?
What was the bad things for you?
The bad things.
Hmm.
So, okay, spent way too much money. We don't need to talk about that. Oh gosh, it was bad. It was bad. So I had the celebrity VIP badge, which is the top tier badge that you can get.
Pricey,
What
yes.
Very pricey, but the whole purpose of getting that badge was you can skip the autograph line. So
Yeah,
like
that
your
makes
photo
sense.
ops and your signatures, you just jump right to the front of the line. You do it. It's kind of like a fast pass. So that's primarily why I got it, because I knew I was getting these like high-end celebrities to, autograph a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, makes sense. You
And
know?
SpongeBob, the voice actor of SpongeBob, he actually was complaining about this because they were double booking him. They were booking him for autographs when he was also booked for photo ops. So it was kind of like, I can't be in two places at once. Also, I heard
wow.
this year they had a lot less volunteers than they typically have. I go to get Lord of the Rings, all three of them to sign. It is a mass chaos, crazy. Yeah. I think I spent with my badge, I think I spent like 4 hours getting their autographs. And the majority of that was just waiting in line. A lot of people said they skipped the autograph time frame that they were in, but they probably got double booked based on like what the voice actor of SpongeBob said. It very much was a thing like if you leave, then you'll lose your spot in line. And you just look and there's these like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in this line. So you're
Oh my
like,
goodness.
well, I guess I'm just gonna have to sit here and wait for the next one. It was kind of crazy. I actually saw like a woman, like I don't know if she like fainted or passed out, but
Are
like
you serious?
yeah, she like fell out in the line and like paramedics had to come and help her. There were people that were in like the ADA line with like disabilities that like, they're not supposed to be on their feet for very long, stuck standing. So they were asking for chairs, and the volunteers were so overwhelmed. I actually helped go into the back and get chairs for like the ADA line. It was mass chaos. And people were so mad. People were like, because a lot of people would only come like Saturday, right? They only bought a Saturday ticket.
Oh my goodness. So their whole day is consumed by freaking waiting for the one
And-
thing.
And they were like, hey, like our line is not moving. Like the celebrity VIP line seems to be the only line that's moving when it did move. We've been here for like all day. We're not going to make it. Like there's no way we're going to get our autograph. So I heard like people asking for a refund. They were like, can we get a refund? And from what I heard at the time, I don't know if they changed this, but they were like, sorry, no refunds.
Oh my goodness.
And it was
that's
like-
ridiculous.
People were getting really mad, obviously. So unfortunately, I get up and finally, the first person to autograph my poster is it's Frodo. right? Or no,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's Sam Austin, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I am just so fed up. I am like so tired. It's been like, I don't know, probably like 3 hours and 45 minutes of just like sitting in this line.
Oh my
And
goodness.
he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm just like, good, I guess. And he's like, "Oh, you want me to autograph this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And like that
Oh
was it.
gosh.
Like I just like moved on. I was like, I was so done. Frodo was the next person. It went really fast. He was like, oh, this is such a cool poster. Like, how are you? You know, he was really nice. And I was like a little bit loosened up a little bit more for him. I was like, "Oh, do you like being a DJ?" Because those of you that don't know, Elijah Wood is a DJ. And he actually was in Seattle like a couple of weeks before Comic-Con doing a show. And he actually, you know, he was like, "You know what? Like, I love being a DJ. Like, I've always loved music. That is like my thing. You know, that's for me. You know, like acting often, you know, it's not really for him. You're doing it for an audience." But he said for DJing, like, that is his thing. He does it for him.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah. And I was like, "That's sick. Okay." And then I went to Gimli's line, which also went really quick by this time. He was like just so nice. He
Yeah.
like he did not let me leave. I saw him just really spending time with people and like coming from like around the little like table and like kneeling down with people in like wheelchairs and taking photos with them,
Oh
and
wow,
people
that's
were
wholesome.
crying. And even though it was like no photos, no photos, and it was like he was like, "No, I'm gonna take a photo with this girl." And
Wow.
it was really nice. And so I got up to him and he was like, "Oh, like, what do you do?" And I was like, you know, I told him. He was like, "Oh, you probably work at Boeing then." And I was like, "No, I don't work at Boeing. I work in the medical field." And he was like, "Oh, that's like so nice. Like, yeah." He's like, "You're really helping people. That's so good." And I was like, "Oh." And then he was like, "I love your beard." He was like, "I can tell you have Viking blood in you." And I'm like, "You have made me feel better inside," because I was so mad and I was like, I was just thinking like,
Yeah.
it took me with my badge like 4 hours to get all their autographs, and I cannot imagine like people with just a normal pass. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it.
Wow.
I really don't. It's kind of sad. And then some people took to social media. I saw like a lot of people being
Yeah.
very angry on social media about it. Yeah, that was I would say like kind of the dark side of things.
So I will say, after that fiasco that you had, because I got in line to talk to or to take my photo with Frodo the next day, it seemed like it was a lot more organized. It still seemed like they were shorts-handed and there was chaos, but it seemed a lot more organized than what you're talking about.
The photos went really, really fast.
Okay,
They,
it's the
I,
autographing.
yeah, the photo ops, like I walked up, I showed my badge, and they were like, "Okay, put your stuff here. Three,
Yes.
2, 1. You're with Chris Evans." And it's like, oh gosh, okay, hi, sir. You know, it was
Yeah, just for a second.
like it was so fast. So the photo ops, like, yeah, they definitely had that down to like a science, but the autographs were really bad. So
Maybe that's something they could improve upon next year. They probably didn't expect it to be so crazy, but
I think they just didn't. I think they expected to have more volunteers than what they actually had. And then I don't understand this. You had to buy tickets, right? You had to buy a ticket to get stuff autographed. But then I noticed that if you didn't have a ticket, you could just pay cash at the table. And so, like, people
What?
in front of me would be like, "Oh, hey, like, here's my ticket for one thing, but then here's like $1,000, and I have a whole cart full of like 26 things I want, you know, Frodo to sign." And it's like, wait, what? And it's something that like I don't really understand, because you could just pay cash. So like you didn't really have to have a ticket. And that like that also slowed things down, right? Because you like people are like counting out money. There's like a person counting the money, and then it's just like
and this
it's
person
like
has like 26 things to sign.
and it's just like adding to the line, because like I just don't understand it, because
You know
obviously
what
they
it
were like,
is? So this is the problem with everything nowadays is people will get things autographed to sell it.
oh yeah,
And that's what I saw a lot of those people like they had like thousands of things with them and they're just rushing to table to get an autograph on something. And I'm just like, dude, you're not even a fan person. You're just in it for the money. And it's like, ugh.
So this is actually really interesting. I bet you guys haven't heard me say that in a really long time. So you're welcome.
Yeah.
I don't like for now, like right now, I don't have any of my comic books, right? Because the process that I did was I went to Beckett and I said, hey, I'm going to get comic books autographed and I'm going to send them off for grading, which is really nice because they like seal the comic book. It's graded, it's verified. So like a person from Beckett followed me to get all my comic books autographed. And the person, when you pay, you have to pay for the comic book artist and the author to autograph comic books. They'll ask you, they're like, is this for grading? And you're like, yes, it is. I have Beckett here. And they charge you more.
Oh, wow.
I think it's kind of to try to stop people from just turning around and like selling comic books, right? Like for me, like I don't care because I'm just like, if you haven't figured out yet, I am a collector. I love collecting stuff.
Yep.
It's really, I don't know, it's really interesting. And I actually talked
really
to
interesting?
the,
Is it really
it is really interesting. But I actually talked to the Beckett guy, and this guy, he said he's been doing this, I think, for like 10 or 15 years with Beckett. He goes to, I think he said, over 30 comic book conventions a year.
That's a lot.
And he's pretty much just always like on the road traveling. He said he loves it. He's like, I absolutely love it. For instance, like some people like will do Beckett for Chris Evans to verify the signature. You have to pay to meet Chris Evans. I don't. I come with you for free. And I'm like,
oh, that's cool.
I'm like, dude, you're like a rock star in like nerdy world. Like that's insane. Like, are you serious?
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. But
so it sounds like overall we had a good time at Comic-Con, but obviously with anything, you're gonna have your negatives. So for me, my negative, I will have to say, is the lack of variety of food. I feel like if you're going to spend like a ridiculous amount of money on food, that it should be something that's not like a frozen like single serve pizza.
She wants me. For fresh baked pizza at home, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
okay.
Like you could get some fucking food vendors out there easily. Let a couple food vendors, like legitimate local food vendors, set up in your venue and sell some food.
They used to, like, in an alleyway close to Comic-Con, they would have a food truck alley. So all the food trucks would come and you could like go outside and like go to a food truck, which was really nice. I think they stopped doing that. Was it this year or last year they stopped doing that? But you're in Seattle. You can just walk to like amazing food all around.
This is true. So
yeah,
what I did is my best delicious food that I got was this guy was selling street dogs on the side on like one of the corners. Oh, like right by where you get your passes at, and I was just like, we're getting us a street dog.
Street dog. Or you can do the higher tier thing. You can do what I did, which was for the 4 days I paid for a parking spot.
Oh yeah.
Like super close to Comic-Con, and I could come and go as many times as I pleased. And primarily that was for my dogs. I didn't want to keep my dogs like locked in kennels for like 18 hours a day. And then I didn't want the hassle. I didn't want the hassle of like trying to find a parking spot, because that was like something I noticed like previous 2 years is you spend so much time looking for parking spots. It's like,
it was
just
terrible.
show up. Here's my spot. Sweet. And then you can come and go as often as you please.
Yeah, that's one thing I will have to say is if you're going to go to Comic-Con all 4 days, just make sure you have like some kind of parking situation set up, because like if you're expecting to pay for parking, you're going to pay for about as much as you paid for your ticket for all 4 days of parking. So just putting that out there, because it is really expensive. The traffic is chaotic as fuck, and like most of every parking garage that you will encounter near there will be full. So yeah, good luck.
Yeah, overall it was great. I had a great time. You know, every year I like learn a little bit more, and every year I like try to like plan more than I did the previous year. This year was, oh god, it was all out.
You went all
It
out
was
this
like
year.
it was like whatever I want, I'm going to get it. That is a joy of being a child in your 30s. Next year, I'm kind of thinking, I might just chill,
Mm,
focus on cosplay,
yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
So I'm not as much of a collector. Like it takes a lot. Like I really like Elijah Wood as an actor, and now that I know he's a DJ, I can't wait to go see his music. I really am into the whole Comic Con thing because I really want to do cosplay, and
Yeah.
I want to introduce cosplay more into just me as Jenny Banks. I just want to have Jenny Banks be doing more cosplay. So looking forward to that next year. I'm thinking we're gonna have maybe Jay will help me put together one cosplay, and then maybe two. I don't know, because I want to try to have three for next year. I'm gonna keep continuing doing Starlight. That's what I did this year. But next year I might be doing other ones. Maybe a Harley Quinn. Maybe a Harley Quinn. Comic Con was awesome. Yeah, we have like I feel like we both, mostly Jay, because he kind of like experienced the whole Comic Con package. We both have pros and cons to how the convention went, right? For me, I have a lot of positive things to say just because I, for the first time, got to go 4 days. Jay
Mm.
has been there last year, was there for 4 days. I think the first year you went 4 days as well, right? So,
Yep.
like, you've gotten that experience out of you. So now you can really judge it for what it is.
Yeah, I love Comic Con. I mean, you're always gonna have like some negatives, right? Nothing's ever gonna be perfect. But yeah, I don't know. Come out to Seattle Comic Con. Maybe like we'll all see you next
Yeah.
year.
Like, maybe if enough people come out to see Nikki and I, maybe, you can take a picture with us in our cosplays.